Welcome to Beyond the Veil. For now we see through a glass darkly. 1 Corinthians 13:12. I am Rose, and today we're going to be exploring the origins of Christianity versus the origins of paganism. I know there's a lot of misinformation going around right now that would lead one to believe Christianity is simply regurgitated paganism. Christianity has its origins in pagan religion and mystery religions. This is a lie, and it is of the enemy, and many people are being deceived and led astray because of it. I myself was one of these people for many years. I believed that Christianity was simply regurgitated paganism, because when you start to research and delve deeper and deeper, these are the assumptions you are led to. It is what we are being spoon-fed, because it takes you off track. So today I wanted to share with you a PowerPoint, a workshop that I will be giving about Christianity versus paganism and the origins. So bear with me. It's a little, dry because it's a workshop for a class, but I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's very important. So the question is, does Christianity have pagan origins? The answer is no, but slightly yes. Christianity sects have culturally absorbed pagan concepts over time. This is evident. There's either Christianity, Judaism, or there's paganism. Paganism covers a lot of ground. Basically, it's all mystery and all counterfeit religions. It is widely assumed Christianity has its origins in paganism. This is false, but that would lead us to think, well, however, where does paganism have its origins? And what mainstream wants you to believe is that it's just mystery religion. It's always been here. You just have to tap into the knowledge. This is false. The Bible tells us paganism has its origins and its beginnings in Babylon and a man named Nimrod. Historical texts support that Nimrod was a ruler of Babylon. Along with his wife and mother, he created the first religion, which was pagan in essence. It's God, goddess, and sun religion. Okay, so this is important. Created the first religion. The first religion was in Christianity. The first religion was in Judaism. The first religion was paganism. So when they say paganism is the first religion, they're absolutely right. What they leave out is the first counterfeit religion. And if we look to the Bible, we get a little glimpse of Nimrod, Genesis 10, 1 Chronicles 1:10, and Micah 5:6. They all reference Nimrod. In Genesis, it tells us that Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. And what's interesting to note is in the Hebrew, before the Lord means against the Lord, rebelling against the Lord. And Nimrod built the Tower of Babel. Nimrod is the grandson of Noah. So after the flood, Noah and his family come off the boat, and he has a son named Ham. One of his sons is Ham. And Ham takes off in his own direction, and Nimrod is the son of Ham. So Nimrod's progenitor is Noah. We also have historical texts and references. In Jewish history, Josephus writes, "Now it was Nimrod who excited them to such an affront and contempt of God. He was the grandson of Ham, the son of Noah. He was a bold man of great strength of hand. He persuaded people not to ascribe to God as if it was through his means they were happy, but to believe that it was their own courage which procured happiness. He also gradually changed the government to tyranny, seeing no other way of turning men from the fear of God, but to bring them into constant dependence of his power." In ancient Egypt and Babylonian traditions, his mother was Semiramis, sometimes referred to as the mother of Nimrod and sometimes as his wife, leading to the belief that Nimrod married his mother. According to these traditions, Semiramis rose to greatness because of her son, and she was presented with difficulty when her son died, so instead she pronounced him to be a god so that she herself would become a goddess. This began the worship of Semiramis and the child god, and a whole paraphernalia of Babylonian religious systems. From various ancient sources, it seems that Nimrod's wife/mother, Semiramis, was a high priestess of the Babel religions, the founder of all mystery religions as well as all goddess religions. After the tower was destroyed and the multiplicity of languages developed, she was worshipped as a goddess under many different names. She became Ishtar of Syria, Astarte of Phoenicia, Isis of Egypt, Aphrodite of Greece, Venus in Rome. In each case, she's a deity of sexual love and fertility. Her son Tammuz also became deified under various names and was the consort of Ishtar, the god of the underworld. So basically you have Nimrod, who is a rebel and against the Lord. He builds this tower because he's going to reach heaven and he's going to conquer God and he's going to rule everyone. Nimrod has a wife, Semiramis. Semiramis is a crafty creature according to what is known historically about her, and they have a son together named Tammuz. Nimrod dies. Semiramis becomes pregnant after his death and claims that her pregnancy is an incarnation of Nimrod. She gives birth to this child/god, and this is where the mystery religions begin. Okay, this is where they begin. I'm not even going to get into the influence of the Nephilim or anything. We're just talking about the human roots of paganism. This is where it begins. Tammuz, the son of an incarnate Nimrod legend. So according to the cult of Ishtar, Tammuz was conceived by a sunbeam, a counterfeit version of Jesus' virgin birth. Tammuz corresponded to Baal in Phoenicia, Osiris in Egypt, Eros in Greece, and Cupid in Rome. In every case, the worship of these gods and goddesses was associated with sexual freedom or otherwise immorality. The picture shown here is an alabaster relief of 1500 BC. It's depicted Tammuz. Weeping for Tammuz. The Lent tradition has no basis in scripture, but is rather developed from a pagan celebration of Semiramis mourning for 40 days over the death of Tammuz, before his alleged resurrection, another of Satan's counterfeits. We read about the weeping of Tammuz in Ezekiel 8:13-15. So, Ezekiel's having his vision, and it says, "He said also unto me, Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of the Lord's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat a woman weeping for Tammuz, and then said unto me, How thou seen, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, thou shalt see greater abominations than these." So it's just really interesting that the early church, when it became organized and they started to convert the pagans into Christianity, and they did superimpose Christian ideas over pagan celebrations to convert people. That is an absolute fact. Yes, that was done. And one of those celebrations is Lent. Lent today celebrates the 40 days of Christ in the desert. But it's based, the school of thought is, Lent is actually based on the weeping for Tammuz. That's some scary stuff when you think about it, how convoluted, twisted, and backwards many of our human and man-made traditions are. We're going to get into Great Mother worship. So after the decline of Babylon, their priests fled to Egypt, and they took with them this religion. There the people worshipped Isis and her son Osiris, often known as Horus. The same mother and child deities appeared in Greece as Circe, the great mother with the babe at her breast and the boy Plutus in her arms, and in pagan Rome as Fortuna and Jupiter. Other cultures embraced this concept world over. All over different cultures and regions, we see the Great Mother worship. Now, when you first start getting into this and you're looking at it from, well, is Christianity just regurgitated paganism? This is one of the things that'll be used to convert you to that thought. They'll say, you know, Great Mother worship was first. It was before Jesus, and Christianity's patriarchal and Judaism's patriarchal, and they just got rid of the Great Mother. Yes, Great Mother worship was the first organized religion, but it was a false religion. It has nothing to do with Christianity. Yes, we see remains of mother-child religion in the early and certain modern Christian sects, in the icon of Mary with the infant Jesus. Doesn't mean that Christianity is regurgitated paganism. It just means that that aspect of mother worship infiltrated itself culturally because it was the first religion. Not the first spirituality, but the first religion, and it was the first false religion. And we're talking, this is so long ago that nobody even can conceive of how paganism's origins blossomed up. Most people following paganism don't have this information. They don't know that they're really just following basically a religious system that was created by a man. They think they're following a religious system that was created by a great goddess. And it's dangerous, my friends. So, pagan religions. Collectively, pagan religion began with the descendants of Ham, one of Noah's 3 sons. He decided to erect a great monument that would reach into heaven and make themselves a great name, Genesis 10:9 through 10 and 11:4. Under the leadership of Nimrod, they planned to storm heaven and unify their power and prestige in a great worldwide system of worship. That was man's first counterfeit religion, from which every other false religion in one way or another has its origins. Okay? That was man's first counterfeit religion, from which every other false religion in one way or another has its origins. So you're either of Yahweh and Yahushua, or you're of a pagan religion in some form or another that is false. Some of these false religions are more intentionally spiritually sinister in nature than others. And this is where I want to add a little caveat here. Being someone who was pagan, who was in the occult, who was a witch, I was not a bad person. I didn't think anything I was doing was wrong. I was helping people. I was using these gifts and these powers. And I would say the majority of the average people who are turned to paganism as a form of spirituality are simply deceived. There is a small class of people that are deceivers, and then they're involved in some deep Satanism, flat out Satanism, and that's a whole nother topic. But I just want to know that witches, pagans, occultists, they're not necessarily evil people. They're just deceived, because in this world you are either deceived or a deceiver. And I really believe, I know in my heart from interacting with people, being part of the pagan community, bringing Pagan Pride Day to my local city, having covens, saturating myself in the culture of the occult, that most of the people are deceived. They're simply deceived. You do get some that are deceivers, and know full well their folly and continue anyway, but most of the people are simply being deceived. They've bought into this false religion as being the first historical religion, and it was, but it was a counterfeit religion. God's judgment frustrated the primary purpose of making a grand demonstration of humanistic unity by confusing their languages that they may not understand one another's speech and scattering them abroad from there over face of the whole earth. Genesis 11, 7 through 8. The Lord halted the building of the tower and fractured their solidarity. But those people took with them the seeds of that false, idolatrous religion. Seeds that they and their descendants have been planting throughout the world ever since. So we got to process this. Paganism is a counterfeit false religion that is ancient, that is old, but it is not from a goddess. It is from a man named Nimrod and his wife Semiramis. They created this whole religious system. They started to build a tower to reach heaven because that's how arrogant they got. Yahweh says, no, no, no. Elohim says, no, no, no. Yahushua says, no, no, no. Blasts down the tower, gives people all different languages so they can't communicate, sends them all over the world. With them, they took the seeds of this false, what we know today as pagan religion, and spread it worldwide. The ideas and forms were altered and adapted, and sometimes they were made more sophisticated, but the basic system remains and remains unchanged. That is why Babylon is called the mother of harlots and of the abomination of the earth. She's the propagator of false religions. Dr. Daniel Woodhead. Okay, so you get this. Babylon is the progenitor of all false religions. She is the mother of false religions. Babylon, Tower of Babel, Nimrod, Semiramis, Tammuz. This is the origins of pagan religions. Realize that pagan mythology is not the origins of the Messianic faith. It is a counterfeit religion that is in opposition of God. It distracts and takes an individual down a slippery path. Wide is the gate. Many who follow paganism as a spiritual path are good intended, however misled. Many are using witchcraft and the occult they believe to better their lives and the lives of others, to gain influence, knowledge, and our power over the material and spiritual world. But it is a deception, friends. It leads to a deeper and deeper connection to the kingdom of principalities. Unless, of course, that's your goal. However, I have experienced most are simply deceived. Are you deceived or are you a deceiver? There seems to be varying levels and degrees to this deception in the world today. From my own experiences, observations, involvement, research, education, training in both Bible and the occult, prior reading and subsequent rereading the scriptures, I can say with great confidence that the spirit of Baal has different layers, archetypes, and it forces like an onion. If you keep peeling it back and going deeper and deeper into the root, you find that one is either being deceived or you are a deceiver. Once you know these facts and you continue to engage in them regardless of the evidence you're being shown, you're a deceiver. So we're looking through the glass darkly. I hope to shed a little bit of light on the fallacies of paganism, the fallacies of Christian origins being pagan and regurgitated paganism. They are not. And I hope it sheds some light too that most people involved in paganism, witchcraft, and the occult are just deceived. They're not bad people. They're deceived. But remember, John 3:16 tells us, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." This is our hope. This is our salvation. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope I gave you a few little things just to think about. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to get in touch with me. Message me through YouTube or Facebook, and I will try to get back with you. This has been Rose. You've been watching Beyond the Veil, and I thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time. I do hope you got something, even some morsel out of it. Be blessed.